In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the electric fuel pump on your G35 INFINITI. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to undo or loosen the nut on the negative cable and remove that, and then just tuck it down to the side. In the middle of the seat, under the cushion, there's going to be a little tab. We're going to pull that tab and pull the cushion up and do the same thing on the other side. Twist the seat out, and then we are able to push the seat belts through and pull it up. You do not have to remove the whole thing, but we are gonna. Pull up all of this, and we're going to remove it from the car. There's 4 Phillips head clips. We're going to twist them to unlock them. We're going to pull up. We're going to push this grommet through the plate. And pull this plate back and put it out of the way. We have some debris in here, so we're going to use a vacuum and clean it all up. We're going to remove the connector off of the fuel pump assembly. Push on that little top tab and pull back. We're going to put that harness out of the way. Then we're going to remove the clip for the fuel line. We're going to put a rag under this fuel line, so when we take it off, we don't spill gas everywhere. I'm going to pinch these 2 sides in front and pull back on the fuel line. Just like that. I'm going to wrap that line and tuck it off into the side. Using an 8mm socket, we're going to remove the screws out of the lock ring. Pull the lock ring up. Then we're going to pull straight up on the fuel assembly. There's a little tab on the bottom here. We're going to pull up on that and push down. That's the tube going to the low pressure fuel pump on the other side of the saddle tank. It'll throw fuel from one side of the tank to the other so that it can be sent to the engine. Now we're going to remove the fuel pump assembly from the car. We're going to take a Sharpie and put marks on both the sender unit and the 2 caps that we're going to be removing. This is for reassembly, so we're putting it back together in the correct way. So when we put it back together, all of our lines will match up. Once we've done that, we're going to take a small pick or screwdriver start popping all of these little tabs off the sides and separating the pieces. Remove the top half. There's going to be a connector. We're going to push on this tab and remove the connector from the fuel pump. And we're going to separate the bottom half. Do the same thing, push up on all the tabs. There's going to be a bunch of gas that comes out of this. Be sure you have a rag or a catching bucket to grab it. There's a little tab on this screen. I just used a small screwdriver and pushed down on it. And there's a little grommet on the back, and we're just going to pull it out of that assembly. Remove the rubber, and then there's going to be a little pressure clip under that. And take a little screwdriver and get it under the clip and pry that off. And remove that little pressure clip. Then you can remove the screen from the fuel pump. On the new fuel pump, we're going to remove the caps. There's one on the bottom, and there's one on the top. Take those two off. We're going to install the filter into the new fuel pump. Push it down until it fully seats. And in the kit, they give you a new pressure clip. We're going to install that pressure clip onto the post and then push it down. Just like that. We're going to install this rubber onto the fuel pump. Push it all the way down. There's a little groove sitting. There's like a little groove impression on the bottom of this rubber piece. And that is going to dictate the way we put it into here. Line it up with the slot in the plastic. Then we're going to push it straight on, just like that. And you'll feel it kind of sit inside and lock in. We're going to take the top and line up our marks. And in the top, this little hose is going to line up with that little O-ring in there, just like that. Find our marks. Line everything up. Make sure that these tabs are sitting inside of these two rails and clip the assembly together. Take the top We're going to install the plug into the fuel pump. We're going to line up our marks. Make sure these tabs fit into these rails. Marks are lined up. And we're going to push straight down and lock everything into place. Give it a little pull. Now it's ready to go back into the car. Remove the old O-ring. We're going to install the new one. It's going to sit in a little groove. I'm going to pull this low pressure fuel pump hose out of the way. And we're going to install the pump. And then with it mostly installed, we're going to slide the hose onto the pump assembly. And then drop the whole unit in, just like that. Install the lock ring. Put it on top like that. And we're going to go around and put all our bolts in. Go around and install all the little bolts. And before we snug those down, I'm just going to reattach this fuel line. Push it straight on, give it a pull, make sure it's locked in there. Torque your bolts to 31 inch-pounds. Since it's a rubber O-ring, I'm kind of going to go in opposite order, jumping to opposite sides for every one that I torque. And I'm going to go around one more time. Take the plate, and we're going to push the rubber grommet through that. There's an arrow. We're going to install the connector. Push until you hear a click. Give it a little pull back. Install the plate. Fit the grommet into it. Make sure it's seated properly. And then we're going to lock all of these tabs down. If you're struggling to turn one, you can take a set of pliers, help you turn it. Install the foam back into the car. Make sure the seat belt hooks are on top. Grab your seat. We're going to push our seat belt buckles inside of the seat. Pop those out. There's little hooks on the back of this cushion. We're going to push it down hook it into the back, and then push down on the front of the seat until they lock in. Give it a little pull up and make sure they're locked in, and make sure your seat belt buckles are accessible. Grab your negative cable, put it on the terminal, and snug it down.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.